My name is Jeff Nizon, and this is Dan Kleben, and we're with Alcatel Lucent in the IP Platforms division. I want to talk to you about, and I wouldn't mind if I got my presentation on the screen here. Wrong one. Oh, yeah, that's good. Dan, could you put up the PowerPoint, please? Thanks. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you about some enablers, and I want to talk to you about some APIs that we have as part of our enablers called the new conversation APIs and WebRTC. And in my mind, the new conversation APIs and WebRTC are like, hopefully you can hear me, are like chocolate and peanut butter. They go really well together. And I'd be remiss if I didn't point out, and that's why I put it all on one slide, is my developer site, developer-ims.alcatellucent.com, where I have a sandbox and expose these APIs to you guys. And though the APIs that we're talking about, they look like pictographs in there, but they're things like call control, call history, chat, and so forth. So I've got demos on demos to show you guys. I'm very excited to show them to you. Let's go to the next slide. Really what we're selling is the purple stuff. The IMS, the session border controller, the WebRTC gateway, and a CTS smart switch that enables the APIs. And really I'm talking to telcos and large enterprise here. So what I'm showing here is a fraction of what we have on our booth. I'd like everybody to come by the booth. And the setup that I'm showing and some of the things that we're using are all commercial grade. So this is a commercial high-def video phone. I'm going to use a Counterpath Bria client in part of these demos. And I'm going to use the next-gen web phone. If you can put up the next-gen web phone, which is really cool and one of the points that I want to make. This little guy was built by a student, one of our students, who knew nothing about communications, using the APIs, and we're running in Chrome, and you're seeing social media APIs down the right side of the screen. Those APIs do things like presence. They've got free text associated with them. Down the left side of the screen, we're seeing our call control APIs, and we're going to show you how we start to use them in an application where we can start to make some money. So the first call we're going to make is essentially a VPA to H.264 call to our Biscotti camera. And there you are in the room. So we're transcoding in the network, and you're seeing VP8 and H.264 on this camera. This is a sort of a situation where you would have this available in your living room. For a business, we're going to take that up one level higher. We're going to do muxing in the core, and we're going to make that call to a Bria client with the Biscotti and simultaneous ring to a iPhone. Let's answer that. And we'll mux them all, and as you can see, we're now muxing. And one of the things that you can't see because of the screen is that the actual data stream stays the same for each element. So what we are, we're not adding a meg onto each call. We're doing that heavy lifting in the network. What I want to talk to you about is something that's really cool that we sort of, I wouldn't say stumbled upon, but do you guys know, does everybody know what WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal are? Everybody, can I see a show of hands? Okay, pretty good, okay. Essentially, they're WCMSs. So if you believe all the stats, about 40% of the internet is running on this framework. The language behind that, if we go to the next slide, is themes, plugins, modules, components, extensions, and in my mind, some money. And I'm going to show you some stuff that we're doing very simply in adding our call APIs into a banking site. So really what happened was some folks from our enterprise group asked me to do some demos for a large bank. They said clone their website and add those APIs to the website. I didn't think it was a good idea to clone a bank's website and bring them into a meeting. So I went to WordPress, and you know, for $60 I bought a theme. And the language of WordPress are, the areas are called widgets. Talk to an advisor is a click-to-call. We're not going to show you that because we don't have enough devices on that. So I want you to come by the booth and I'll show you some of that. That's like essentially the world's cheapest kind of call center. Because in that click-to-call, that API says call two numbers, and we hide the back number. And that's the call. So 40% of the internet, we're hiding it for, you know, the flower shop that doesn't have a call center. But what I will show you, because we're at a WebRTC conference, is a WebRTC call. So what we're going to do as part of this WebRTC call, I've taken these APIs and I've abstracted them into plugins. And as part of the plugin, I now start to do things like a pre-roll before the call. So that's a pre-roll that you're watching. That's a pre-roll ad or a banner ad associated with a WebRTC call. For you know, a large telephone company, large enterprise, that's new revenue, newfound revenue. So, and I don't know, where are we sending that call? We're sending that to the Biscotti. We're going to send that call to the Biscotti. So now we're going to do from the website a WebRTC call directly into the Biscotti. And we're simmering. So real call, real browser. I think we're seeing it on both sides. Hopefully we are. We don't have it on the other side? I don't know why. Anyhow, little technical difficulties. Really what we've done is abstracted some stuff into plugins. And if you look at the code for that, it's just a tag. So now I've hidden all of the WebRTC, all of the APIs, and let my wife, who has rainbowplate.com, which is a WordPress site, add WebRTC calling by just the plugin. If you show the settings in the plugin, and Dan built this stuff, Dan's not a programmer. So I think the moral of the story with the enabling technologies that we're providing is it's easy, right? We saw a website built with these APIs by a student in 6 weeks, and we saw Dan abstract this stuff to plugins. I think he'd started this about 3 weeks ago. So can we show the settings on there? And I can show you taking this in and out. I want you to come by the booth and see some of this stuff. But really, the top part is, how many ads are we going to show? The service provider can easily hide the credentials that you need to place that call, and we have features in the core that allow telcos or cable cos or large enterprise to manage this kind of stuff. So I'm going to give you back 2 minutes. I want everybody to come by the booth, but I want you to remember the moral of the story is that it's easy, and that we've just enabled 40% of the web with WebRTC simply with our APIs. And come down to our developer site and see what we have for you. Thank you.